All right, let's dive in. Today we're looking closely at a phone making some waves, the Infinix Hot 50 Pro Plus.
Yeah, and the big story, according to the notes and reviews we've got here from late 2024, is this idea it might just be the lightest smartphone of 2025.
Exactly. So our goal today is to unpack all that, the specs, the features, and figure out what this, super light phone actually offers you. And
Right.
is the lightness really the main event?
Because it seems like it might be. The sources keep hammering home just how light it feels.
Mm.
We're talking 162 grams. That's, well, incredibly light.
And thin too, right? 6.8 millimeters.
Super thin. When you pick it up, the notes say glass front, okay, but plastic back and frame.
Which sounds like maybe a compromise for weight, but they say it doesn't feel cheap.
Apparently not. It seems like a deliberate choice to hit that weight target. Dimensions are 164.1 by 74.4 by that 6.8 millimeter. It's got dual SIMs and, basic IP54 dust and splash resistance. Nothing crazy, but it's there.
Okay, so it's light, but what about the screen? Sometimes that's where they cut corners on lighter phones.
Doesn't seem like it here, actually. It's a 6.78-inch AMOLED display. Pretty big.
And packed with features, I saw. Like a billion colors, 120 hertz refresh rate.
Exactly. And something that's really good for your eyes, 2160 hertz PWM dimming, helps with flicker fatigue.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Brightness.
Pretty good. Tested at 1190 nits peak. Decent screen-to-body ratio, too, around 90%.
Yes.
Gorilla Glass on top, and it's sharp 1080 by 2436 pixels. So, yeah, quite a nice display for a phone focused so much on weight.
All right, feels light, looks good. How does it actually run? What's the engine?
It's got the MediaTek Helio G100 chipset. Now, the sources are pretty clear. This is great for your everyday sort of tasks.
So like scrolling, emails, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Browsing, social media, maybe some lighter games. It's apparently quite smooth for that. But, don't expect a hardcore gaming machine. It's not built for that top-tier benchmark stuff.
Makes sense. Software and storage.
It comes with Android 14, running Infinix's XOS 14.5 interface. They do promise one major Android upgrade, which is, well, it's something.
Better than nothing, I guess. Storage options.
You get 128 or 256 gig options, both with 8 gigs of RAM. And importantly, there's a dedicated microSD slot, always good to see. The storage type is UFS 2.2, faster than you sometimes get in this price bracket.
Okay. Cameras. What are we looking at on the back?
It's a dual camera setup, technically. You've got a 50 megapixel main sensor, f1.6 aperture, which is quite bright, should help in lower light, plus autofocus.
And the second lens.
A 2 megapixel depth sensor, and then what they call an auxiliary lens, honestly.
Yeah.
Based on similar setups, probably not adding a huge amount of value beyond that main sensor.
Right. Standard stuff like flash and panorama are there. Video.
Yep, dual LED flash,
Yeah,
panorama mode. Video goes up to 1440p at 30 frames per second, or 1080p at 30 or 60.
Decent enough.
And the selfie camera?
13 megapixels on the front, f2.2. And it actually has its own LED flash, which is kind of neat for selfies in the dark.
Audio next. I saw stereo speakers.
Yes, stereo speakers tuned by JBL, plus high-res audio support. Sounds good on paper.
But there's always a but. But yeah, no 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So USB-C or Bluetooth for your audio.
Gotcha. Connectivity seems standard, though. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, NFC.
All the usual suspects. Dual band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, NFC, apparently with 360-degree support, whatever that means in practice FM radio.
Right.
And USB Type-C 2.0 with OTG. Pretty comprehensive.
And how do they power this super thin, light phone? Must be a tiny battery.
Surprisingly, no. It's a 5,000 milliamp battery. Quite large, actually, considering the form factor.
Oh, okay.
Charging speed,
Okay.
33 watts wired. The tests showed it gets to 50% in about 26 minutes, so pretty quick for a top-up. It also does 10W reverse wired charging. Good. Charge another device and bypass charging for gaming.
Nice little extras. Any other bits from the sources? Fingerprint sensor? Colors?
Yeah, under display, optical fingerprint sensor, standard accelerometer, gyro, proximity, compass sensors. Colors are sleek black, titanium gray, and dreamy purple. The model is X6880, price around 190 euros.
And the test results seemed okay. Antutu, battery life.
Yeah, solid for the class. Antutu 10, score around 436,000. Geekbench 6, around 1957. The battery life test showed over 10.5 hours of active use, which backs up that large battery capacity. Loudspeaker was rated good.
So wrapping this up then, based on everything we've looked at, the Infinix Hot 50 Pro Plus seems like, well, a genuinely interesting package.
Absolutely. Especially for that price, you get a lot of features. But the headline act is definitely that extreme lightness achieved without sacrificing too much, like the big screen or the battery size.
It definitely makes a strong case for being one of the lightest options you might find heading into 2025, just like the sources suggested.
Which leads to the question for you, listening in. How much does weight and thinness actually matter to you when you pick your phone as being super light high in your list?
Yeah, and considering these specs, the price. Does this focus on extreme lightness feel like a worthwhile trade-off? Or are things like maybe a more powerful chip or, that headphone jack more important? Something to think about.